So December is almost upon us. The winter is closing in fast. The days are getting shorter. The temperatures are dropping. Today we're going to do my winter top tips. My top tips to get you through the winter period, make it a more pleasant, enjoyable and safe period whilst you're running out there in the dark and the cold. Let's get on with it. So yeah, as the cold weather has hit the UK, it's a reminder that the winter period is almost upon us. It's often a darker, wetter, more miserable part of the year potentially, but hopefully these top tips now are going to help make it a bit more bearable, a bit more enjoyable, and like I said, a bit safer for anyone venturing out over the winter period. So this time last year I did a winter running essentials. I'll tag that there. So that was the essential items I think kind of people could potentially grab, invest in, and makes that winter running a bit more bearable. This year I'm going to do my winter running tips, so hints and tips how to make the actual running itself more safe, more enjoyable, and like I say, a bit more motivation when it's obviously more difficult sometimes to get out in the dark. So tip number one is layers. Again, some of these might be quite obvious, but it goes without saying these are the top tips. So again, when it gets cold, everyone's got their own preference in terms of running temperatures. Me personally, I do quite like it cold, so it has to kind of get down to close to 0 C for me to start worrying about the temperature. I tend to like to run just a t-shirt in single digit figures anyway, but yeah, when it gets cold, layer up. So today, hat, gloves, and again, dress, well, as you say, dress for mile 2, so don't get up in multiple layers and a coat and long pants and thick socks, hat and gloves, and then 2 or 3 minutes into the run you're absolutely melting. Like they say, dress for mile 2, so try and predict how warm you're going to be after the first couple of miles of the run, and that's what you should dress for. And again, make the layers removable, so hat and gloves easy to take off and either carry or stash. Again, multiple layers, t-shirts, a vest, etc. if you need to, but again, plan ahead, don't get dressed for as you step out the door. Layer up for mile 2. So that's tip number 1. Makes you warmer, more comfortable, and it's one less thing to worry about. Nothing worse than getting really cold hands, feet, etc. Tip number 2 is plan your route. So obviously the days are getting shorter, so what I like to do now, I've done it myself, I've been caught out a few times, so now I make sure I check the sunset time, and generally dusk is about 20 minutes after that in the UK. Again, I know I get viewers from all over the world, so depending on where you are, but obviously in the UK at the minute the sunset is around 4 PM. It'll get even earlier as we get deep into the winter. But yeah, so plan your route. If you can't get out in the daytime like I am now, then you're not potentially going to get back before sunset. Again, plan the route, ensure there's street lights on the route, stick to main roads if you have to. So like me now, I'm out on a country lane. If this was dark now, it'd be pitch black and I would be in a bit of bother. But yeah, so plan your route, plan ahead. If you can get out in the country lanes if you want to in the first half of the run, but if you know you're not going to get back before it gets dark, like I said, try and stick to street lit routes. Main roads are obviously always street lit, so plan ahead, don't get caught in the dark halfway around, make it safe. Following on from that, if that's not possible in terms of getting out in the daytime or having a full route which is street lit, make sure you invest in a head torch. Again, I've not got mine on today because I'm just about going to make it back, I think. He says before the sunset, so I should be fine for today. But yeah, invest in a head torch. I invested in one about 18 months ago, never had one previously, but it just opens up the opportunities during the winter, opens up the route. Again, be safe, don't go running down really quiet single track lanes where cars might be coming down. Even with a head torch, I won't go venturing too far out into the wilderness, but it opens up a few more roads, maybe side roads, and again helps with your vision on the pavements. If you angle it down a couple of meters ahead of yourself, you can see for any upcoming obstacles, and again helps you run a bit more confidently in those dark winter months. My next tip is slow down. Again, this isn't for everyone, but yeah, I generally normally try and do a speed session, a shorter speed work kind of series in the winter, purely because again time limitations with the daylight. But yeah, this year I'm not. I'll put it on hold. I'm going to revisit it in the new year. But yeah, slow down. If speed work isn't vitally essential, put it off for maybe another part of the year, or again to try and do it in the daytime when you can see what you're doing. Kind of speed intervals, fast running isn't particularly conducive with cold, wet, icy, dark conditions. Again, you're going to potentially run into issues, slipping, sliding, tripping, falling. And is that essential to be done over the winter months? If you can get it done on a weekend in the daytime, that's even better. Maybe those late evening weekday runs, you can save for easy paced casual miles. 2 to go. My next tip is good quality footwear. So again, if you're getting out in wet, cold conditions, again, it's often more treacherous underfoot at this time of year. Ensure you get good quality footwear. Sometimes I even use trail shoes. If you can get off the beaten track and get on the trail when it's really icy, and that is technically safer than running on icy roads and pavements. So get on the trails with your trail shoes if you've got them and you want to. Yeah, if trail running is not possible and you have to get out in those cold conditions, again, just wear good quality footwear, good grip on the bottom. Don't be grabbing old trainers where the outsole and the grip have worn off. Make sure you've got a bit of traction, that's how in those wet conditions, make your life a bit easier and a bit safer. My final tip is one that I don't often do myself, but it doesn't mean it's not a bad tip for others. It's trying to run with others. So I often run alone. Pretty much 99% of my running is alone, unless I'm doing a race or I'm pacing an event. I don't generally train with anybody else. All my running is done by myself, which is each to their own. I know other people like to run with other people for motivation, social benefits, etc. But yeah, in the winter, again, often safer if you can find a running partner, a running buddy, a friend, or a small group of people who you can run with. Then again, that's a bit better, a bit safer, and again a bit more motivational on those dark, wet evenings when you're maybe not feeling it, but you want to get out and get a run done. So if you can run with us, family, friends, whoever, colleagues, find them and run with them over the winter. And a bonus tip, actually, one that I wasn't going to come up with because I don't often do it. I think it's a bit overkill, but some cars just pulled over and decided to give me a tip as I was jogging down this country lane. He's told me to wear bright colours. That's all well and good maybe in darker conditions, and I wouldn't generally wear like a brighter red top or orange or something a bit more fluorescent maybe in darker conditions. But as I told him, it's broad daylight right now. He claimed he couldn't see me very well. I was quite polite, but if you can't see me in these bright conditions, then it's maybe his fault, not mine. But again, maybe it's worth the point that a bright yellow t-shirt does make me a bit more visible. I don't think it's necessary in this particular condition with the sun still up and daylight still kind of prevalent. But yeah, another tip, especially in darker conditions, wear bright colours, again head torch, make yourself visible. So they're my winter top tips. I've obviously lost my trail of thought. Some part in the run I forgot to do a bit of a wrap up, so I'll just do it now. I'm back home now, so the last quick wrap up. I noticed it during the edit. But yeah, top tips explained there. Hopefully those will be of use. Again, drop in the comments if I've missed anything out, any of your top tips you kind of abide by over the winter months, how to make it safer, happier, and a bit more of an enjoyable, pleasurable experience, like I said, in those darker, wet months. Drop them in the comments. But as always, thank you for watching. All the best for your running, happy running, and I'll see you all next time.